Tycho's son was, at 19, by far the youngest in the compartment, a token Brahe, well-educated but, unlike his father, more politically than scientifically minded. Such aspirational families are a welcoming lot, but sport a brand of protectionism that can turn antagonistic. Between the two sat Franz Tengnagel, 23 at the time. He was much the same way, if not even more so, for lacking a blood relation. The ambitious nobleman had been moving to change that, carrying on a tryst with one of Tycho's daughters, but he presently cut a rather pathetic figure. Both men routinely found themselves on such apparently banal errands as this. These two, with Longomontanus, formed the core of what Kepler came to call the Tychonics. Their namesake was waiting in yonder castle. What apprehension fills the actor upon their first performance? His wit and habit please me thoroughly, Tycho chirped upon first contact. I think him worthy, loving, and advancing all the best stuff. He had tantalized Kepler with work on the observations of Mars he had established years ago, and Kepler was only too willing. Both would have begun in earnest, but, as Tycho noted, several difficulties insert themselves. The two were beginning to know one another. Tycho Brahe was leading a posthumous life. His days were consumed by his legacy, dueling with the bear over their old invention. His legendary Uraniborg was no more, but he guarded the leftover observations with avidity. The castle at Benatki was ersatz. Instruments were strewn about outside the manor. The tiny mess hall could hardly contain all the voices. Construction was ongoing. Rooms were left half-formed, open to the elements. Kepler was immediately disabused. He had arrived hoping to interest Herr Brahe in his theory of world harmony. Only now did he discern the validity of Tycho's own project. As ever in times of conflict, Kepler sat down to write a long, and this time quite lucid, exposition. It was mostly about escaping poverty. "My skull is thick with deliberation," he wrote. "Perhaps I will become known to His Majesty and arrive at a most honorable position. I had hoped that being near Tycho, the Dane, would provide for my discoveries, but there are more important and easier matters. Tycho has the best observations. If I stay in Bohemia, I will easily be able to learn, or rise to a higher office. My wife has no guardian for the journey. It has been difficult to bring my family together." On the next page, Kepler prepared his planned stipulations for working with Brahe. He had now recognized that what Tycho desired most from him was legal and scientific backing in the fight against rhymers. But, apart from astronomy, I must not be burdened with the necessity of other publications. He will assign me no specific hours nor material, Kepler added. In me, he must have faith. Wherever Kepler kept his private list of howlers, it was not private enough. The Lord Brahe found some curious Latin and began reading. His aging eyes scampered over. His shaky hands grabbed a quill. It was an insult of the cruelest variety, that unintended, extemporaneous kind, trifles of a conversation that linger for days, gnawing upon the whole foundations of one's self-image. In all his middling years, Tycho had been comforted by the idea that he was running a fraternity, not a business, for it is loyalty, not warrant, that forms the economy of a paterfamilias. Kepler had written, "Tycho must concede to me my philosophical freedom." "When have I ever prohibited that?" Tycho scribbled in the margins. "Which I do with vigor and zeal." Come April 5th, the two sat down to forge a formal agreement. What was to be a colloquy between friends had become a professional transaction. Tycho brought along a scrivener who carefully took the minutes. Kepler could be guaranteed nothing, because Tycho had no guarantees to give. He would no longer offer up his own funds. Did Kepler want to live in Prague because of his family? "Never has this been done to me before. If it happens that the Caesar wishes to most lenient..."